students, welcome to today's session. This is Sweta, your English master teacher at Vedantu, and today we are going to start with a wonderful story that is The Little Girl from your CBSE NCERT class 9 book. And before beginning with the session, guys, I would like to ask you a very simple question. So as you can understand, one second, let me take a pen first. Alright, so as you can understand that this is about a little girl, right? From the title itself, it is quite evident. So let us revisit our childhood memories, right? So think about the time when you were young kids, little kids, right? Boys, girls, doesn't matter, right? Think about that time, okay? And think about the kind of relationship that you had with your parents, let's say with your father, okay? So now, before proceeding with the session, one very simple question I would like to ask you. Please do answer in the comments and in the chat box right now. Uh, what kind of relationship did you share with your father? All right, so I would give you some options. First is you loved your father. That is option number 1. Option number 2 is you were scared of your father. And option number 3 is you thought that you have the best father. Okay, best father. All right. And option number 4, you thought that your friend's father is the best. I mean, you used to compare your father with your friend's father, and you thought that no, my father is not as good as my friend's father. So did you think like that? Not as good as my friend's father. So what did you think when you were a young child? Now you all are grown up, so you have a different kind of perception about your parents right now. So think about the time when you were little kids, right? So do mention the correct option which you think, which you used to think about your father when you were little kids, right? So think about that, and I would proceed with the session. Do let me know in the chat box right now. So the story is about The Little Girl, and it's by Katherine Mansfield, who is a very famous short story writer. We will know about the author. So today we are going to deal with the analysis of the entire story, and in the next session we are going to cover the important question answers. So as I told you that the story is written by the famous short story writer Katherine Mansfield, who was a prominent New Zealand modernist. So yes, modernist. She is a modernist writer, and she is famous as a short story writer, and she's also a poet, right? And let us now begin with the session, and let us see how beautifully she has portrayed the relationship between a little girl called Kezia. The character's name is Kezia, who is the little girl of this story. So the entire story revolves around this little girl called Kezia and the kind of relationship that she had with her father. Okay, I hope all of you have by now, you have tried to remember, you've tried to recall the kind of relationship that you shared with your father when you were kids, right? So let us begin with a wonderful quote. She did not stand alone, but what stood behind her, the most potent moral force in her life, was the love of her father. Right? So this quote is exploring the relationship between a father and a daughter. So that is exactly what we are going to study in today's session, right? Let's see how the story goes about. So Kezia, as I told you, she is the main character in the story, and she's living with her grandmother and her mother. Alright. Now Kezia is very afraid of her father. So now try to remember how many of you mentioned that you were afraid or scared of your father in the chat box. I will see that, right? So Kezia, I think you could relate. Those who have mentioned that we were afraid of a father, you could also relate, right? So Kezia was very afraid of her father. To her, father appeared like a giant. She always used to think that, oh my God, he is so big, right? He was almost like a giant. Whenever he used to sleep on the sofa, he used to lie down on the sofa, she used to keenly observe all the features. She used to see how big his face was, how big his arms were, right? And she used to always wonder in astonishment and compare her father almost. She used to, visualize her father almost like a giant figure. right? She was so scared of her father that she could not even dare to speak in front of her father. So whenever her father she used to speak in front of her father, she always used to stammer and stutter, right? So whenever her father asked her, what did you do throughout the day, she always used to stammer and say, I don't know, in this manner. Okay, so again her father got very angry. Actually, he couldn't understand why is she stuttering, why is she stammering, right? So he said, if you do like this, if you speak in this manner, I'm going to ask your mother to take you to the doctor so that she could get a proper treatment done, right? So he used to make her even more nervous in that case. So quickly tell me, why was Kezia, why it, why did Kezia, okay, why did Kezia stutter while speaking to her father? Quickly do tell me in the chat box right now. All right. So now grandmother could understand. So we all have grandmothers. I mean, some of us have grandmothers. So if you have your grandmother, you can understand that grandmothers are those who actually try to keep the family united. So they are such beautiful people, because grandparents, they always try to, they are the they are those members who actually keep the family united. So she understood very well. So I hope you all remember the stories that you heard from your grandmother, right? And how close, actually I was also very close, I am still close to my grandparents, right? So if you are also close, let me know how many of you share a very lovable bond with your grandparents like Kezia. Do let me know in the chat box right now, right? So she used to encourage Kezia to talk to her parents, but however she couldn't do so. Kezia couldn't speak properly to her father. Now her father, whenever she was so scared, she was so scared of her father that whenever her father used to go out for his work, she gave him a goodbye kiss. She was also very afraid. She used to give him a goodbye kiss, and she used to be, very happy. I should use the word relieved. She used to feel relieved when she heard the noise of his carriage slowly becoming fainter, right? Because she was having a sense of relief that, okay, my father is now not at home, so now I am free, I could breathe freely. It was that amount of fear that she used to have. She was so scared of her father. So now one day what happened, her grandmother suggested Kezia to prepare a pin cushion because her father's birthday was approaching. So as I told you that grandmothers always understand our innermost feelings. So she made an effort to bring that to uh, what to say, to bridge the gap between the father and the daughter. So in order to do so, she suggested that Kezia should prepare a pin cushion for her father's birthday. So accordingly, Kezia made a beautiful pincushion. But what did she do? She stitched all the three sides of the pincushion, and then when she found nothing to stuff it with, what did she do? She saw scraps of paper lying on the bed table, and she tore all the papers, and then with those papers she filled up the pincushion, and finally she prepared the pincushion for her father. And now she was about to present the pincushion to her father on his birthday. But to her dismay, what happened, that those papers which she actually told was actually something very important, right? They were very important papers, right? So they were actually prepared by his father, that they were, papers, documents of speech written by her father, because he was supposed to, and he was also supposed to present that speech in a meeting, in an important meeting. So now, when he came to know about this, he was very angry. All right. So she filled the pincushion with the important documents of her father. Question for you before proceeding with the story further, guys. What did the grandmother ask Kezia to make, and why? Very simple. I hope you will all be able to answer this in the chat box below. Quickly do answer this in the chat box. Now his father became extremely angry, right? Already she was very afraid of her father, and she did this blunder of using his important documents to fill up the pincushion. But don't you think, guys, that she did it unknowingly? Definitely, she did it unknowingly. But somewhere she was making also an effort to be close to her father. Don't you think so? Right. So let's see what happened next. So then, finally, she started crying, and when her father came and he came with a stick in order to beat her, she said, she appealed, she pleaded, saying that it was for the pincushion. But the father was very angry. Now here we should look at the perspective of the father as well. But I will tell you just to look at the perspective of the father, and also look at the perspective of the young girl, the little girl. So, what do you think? Was the father right in being very angry with the girl? What do you think? Do mention in the chat box right now. This is an open-ended question, and actually, there can be so many answers. So, I will tell you exactly what how can we approach this question, but not now. Let us proceed with the story, and then I will let you know. All right. So then her father started hitting her in the palms of her hand with a ruler, as I told you. So he brought a ruler with him, and he started punishing her. So what do you think? How do you think, is the punishment justified? How far do you think is the punishment justified? Try to think from the perspective of both the father as well as the little girl. And then answer this question quickly in the chat box right now. And then I will tell you, I will discuss this answer with you when I finish off with the story. Then, what happened after this incident, when she was beaten up by her father and then she started crying and all, and she was provided with a handkerchief by her grandmother, who actually tended to who started to calm her down, right? And then she noticed something. What did she notice? She noticed that in her neighborhood there was a person called McDonald's who had several children, and he was so happily playing with his children, carrying one in his arms, and having a gala time with his children. And then this led her to imagine how different her father was from this father. And she so much wanted a father figure like this, who would be very jolly, who would play with her, who would be very friendly with her. So as I began the session, I began with a question: what do you think about what did you think about your father when you were a child? Did you ever try to compare your father with anyone else's father? So I hope you have already given the answer to this question, and now you could relate to those of you who said that yes, we sometimes did compare, and even if now you compare your father with somebody else's father, then you could relate to this, right? Now let's see what happened next. So there is a question for you before proceeding. Kezia decides that there are different kinds of fathers, right? Now, what kind of father was Mr. MacDonald, and how was he different from Kezia's father? Quickly do let me know in the chat box right now. Do mention the answer of this question. Moving ahead. Okay, moving ahead, guys. Let us resume the story after the short break. And in this break, in this small interval, I'm going to explain you something very, very, very important. Going to communicate to you something very, very, very important, guys, which is about the problems that you face usually in the study. So, according to a survey conducted by us, we have come across so many doubts of the students, faced by the students, right? And it is always not possible, guys, in YouTube to solve all your doubts, although we try our best to take up all your doubts, right? So doubts remain unsolved. You have so many doubts, and you do not have proper channel to solve your doubts. You so much want somebody to sit before you and just solve all your doubts. Yes or no, guys? So next problem that you face is notes. You do not have proper notes with you, and then tests and assignments you lag behind because you do not have proper notes and your doubts are not solved, right? Competitive exams, you do want to take part in competitive exams, but you do not have proper guidance for that. Choice of schedule, choice of language being the other major issues that you face. So guys, we, with the help of our platform, have come across, we have actually solved all your problems. So doubts, no more, because we have a dedicated team of class teachers, guys, who are going to solve your doubts. So catering to only and only your doubts, we have an entire team, and of course master teachers are also there who are going to solve your doubts. Apart from that, we also have notes after each session, assignment after each session. We also do conduct monthly tests. So with the help of the monthly test, you will be able to analyze, because we also give you the performance report. So you are going to analyze, you will be able to analyze where you stand. And competitive exams, various Olympiad, we do take care of that as well. All this on your own convenient schedule, or and in your own convenient language. Moving ahead, we also have some amazing bonus features like micro courses, which is going to give you chapter wise, which is going to solve your chapter wise doubts. So whatever, if you find you are facing any problem in any particular chapter which you have already done maybe in the long term batch, but still you are finding that you think that I need another live class, that is also possible. So in order to fill in this gap, we have the micro courses, which is going to take care of your chapter wise problems, right? Crash course is going to make you revise the entire syllabus and is going to make you exam ready, because revision plays an important part. And if you do not have a proper revision, that somehow holds you back, and it hinders your progress. So we do not want to do that, right? And balancing all the subjects, essential, guys, that is very essential. So therefore we give you the opportunity of learning and maintaining a perfect balance in all the 6 subjects: English, chemistry, physics, maths, bio, social science. All the 6 subjects, balance plus revision plus good guidance. These are the 3 mantras which is surely going to make you successful and make you give your best. That is what is needed, right? Personalized attention, which is not, as I told you, it's not always possible in YouTube. That is definitely possible in our platform with the help of our devoted team, like the class teachers, master teachers, content team, product team, which is taking care of your separate needs. So that is absolutely possible in our platform, guys. So what you need to do is just visit the link given in the description box and the pinned comment. As soon as you visit this link, you will find that these are the options: choose your grade and choose your board. Quickly select your board and grade and check out the details. Finally, after being satisfied, click on get subscription. You have 3 types of subscription: 1 month, 3 months and 6 months. I would tell you, if you ask me, I would recommend you to get this 6-month subscription, which is only at 9199, right? And after applying the coupon code, you are going to get 15% flat discount. So why am I giving you this, recommending you this 6-month subscription? Because if you pay for 6 months all at once, you end up paying less than what you pay for 1 month. I mean, each month, every month. And of course, you need 6 months as a standard duration, which will complete your syllabus in a structured manner with all the notes, all the assignments, with the revision papers. We also have 200 plus mock test papers, right? We have 50 plus live courses. So all these features you get with just one subscription, guys. So what are you thinking about, guys? Just visit the link mentioned in the description box. Use the coupon code SWREPRO to avail the 15% discount, guys. Right? So if you do not apply this code, then you will not be able to avail the 15% discount. So do not forget, do not miss this coupon code SWREPRO. And continuing with the story, guys, what happened next was, one day when Kezia's mother got ill, Kezia's grandmother was in the hospital along with her mother, and this girl was left alone with the housekeeper, like Alice was the name, right? So and her father was also there. Now she was always in the habit of sleeping with her grandmother. I think most of you would be able to relate your childhood days with Kezia's childhood. And like when I was reading the story, even I could relate my own childhood days when I used to stay beside my grandmother and always, craved for listening to beautiful bedtime stories. So if you also, if you also remember the same, if you also could recall and revisit your childhood once again, do let me know the kind of relationship that you also shared with your grandmothers. All right. So now she was in the habit of, she was habituated of sleeping with her grandmother. Now her grandmother was not there, so she was not able to sleep properly, and she was having nightmares, and constantly she was waking up screaming. And Alice said, her housekeeper, she said that do not wake up, do not wake your father up, right? And ultimately, when she had a very bad dream, she started crying. And what was the dream like? She saw that there was a butcher who was going to kill her, and she was having this devilish smile and almost, about to kill her. And immediately she got, she woke up and started crying. And at that point of time, immediately as soon as she opened her eyes, she saw in front of her the figure of her father. And now you can remember how she was, you remember how she was afraid of her father, and how she compared the figure of her father, the huge figure of her father, with that of a giant. So now she got even more afraid, right? But her father, he was at this time very patient, and he lifted the girl child up, the child up in his arms. And then finally, look at this. He lifted he lifted her, sorry, in his arms, and then he went to bed, and he started. She clung herself up, right, in his arms, and in his, she held her tightly. She held her father tightly, his shirt tightly, and clung on to his arms, right? And that was the moment, this is the beautiful relationship that she shared with her father. And the father also, and then when again she got up after watching a dream, again she got up suddenly. Why? Because she was thinking about, all the thoughts that she was having was about her father. And she realized how her father used to work so hard, and because she could feel the strength of his arms, and she could also realize that there was actually no one to take care of her father, right? So there would she or he always had to work very hard, right? And then she also realized how wrong she was when she compared her father with that of McDonald's. And then her father said, "What happened? Are you again afraid? Please rub your feet so that you could feel the warmth." So how kind her father now seemed to her, and immediately she felt so sorry after she thought, after she realized that she had actually tore the beautiful, the pages which had the beautiful handwriting of her father, and how laboriously he might have written those speeches down, and how much how much hard work he had to do, right? And he is different from that of McDonald's. It's not, the everyone is not the same. Some fathers are like McDonald's. Some fathers have to work very hard, so they cannot always be so jolly, and they cannot always, play around with their children, because they need to maintain their family. They have to shoulder so much responsibilities. So this is the realization that this little girl had at that moment, and she felt very sorry, and she felt very happy in the strong arms of her father. And finally, she said to her father, when her father asked what happened, "Are you again scared? Did you have another nightmare?" And then the girl beautifully replied that she could feel the heartbeat of her father. And finally, she said that you have a very big heart. And that is all that we need to realize about our fathers as well. So if we had, a childhood like her, like Kezia, where we were scared about where we were either scared of our fathers, or we used to compare with our fathers with other children's fathers, then we do need to realize, just as Kezia realized, that our fathers work so hard, our parents in fact work so hard for maintaining the family. They have so much responsibility, so many responsibilities to shoulder. And it's not justified if we try and compare, just as we do not want ourselves to be compared with any other children. Similarly, we also should not compare our parents with the other parents, all right, because each and every one have their own unique capabilities, own potentialities, and own way of showing love and affection. But definitely our parents are someone, they love us unconditionally. We should appreciate that. I hope you have understood. And of course, from the perspective of the little girl also, at that point of time, yes, it's true that he should not have hit the child with ruler, but do try to think about the frustration of that man who Kezia realized the frustration, right? So who had worked tirelessly in order to, and who worked day and night in order to maintain the family, and he had very given all his efforts in writing those speeches. And when his speeches were torn, he was shattered almost, and in a frustration he had he started to hit the child. Of course, we cannot justify that as well, but we need to empathize with the father, and we need to also empathize with the poor child at that point of time. So yes, we need to broaden our horizon a little bit. We need to broaden our perspective and look at the perspective of each and every character. That is all about today's story, guys. I hope you enjoyed the story and also revisited your childhood, and you could feel the difference between the childhood memories and the relationship that you shared with your parents then, and the relationship that you shared with your parents now. And I think we all need to work on our improving our relationship with our parents, and we need to appreciate our parents. So do mention a few kind words about your parents in the comment section, and let me know how you have evolved as daughters or as sons. Okay, so do mention that in the comment section. I would love to read all your comments. And this is the homework question, guys, which I want you to answer again in the comment section. The relationship between Kezia and a father, and definitely you will also write about your own relationship with your parents. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this, and if you have, then do like the video, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel, guys. We need your support and appreciation, just as you have shown your support and appreciation for the other channel which have reached 1 million subscribers. Do the same for this as well, guys. So thank you so much, and before you go, do not forget to subscribe to the Vedantu platform. I'm looking forward to see you all as a part of our members in Vedantu family. So you do need to visit the comment section, the description box. The link is provided there. You choose your grade, you choose your board, and check out the details. If you are satisfied the details, click on get subscription. There are 3 types of subscription: 1 month, 3 months, and 6 months. As I told you, I recommend the 6-month subscription because here you are paying less than what you are paying every month. All right. So yes, definitely. Apart from that, it is completely flexible. You can definitely go for the 1 month and the 3 month as well. All right. And do not forget to apply the coupon code in order to avail the 15% discount. So SWREPRO, that is the coupon code, guys. So thank you for watching. Do hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you still haven't subscribed. Do motivate us so that we can come up with even more innovative videos for all of you guys. Thank you so much. Take care. Till then, bye bye. See you all again in the next session.